Testing.
Hey, Melissa. It's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
How are you?
Trying to figure out why we have an augo.
Oh my gosh, listen to the echo. Wow.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. I hear a big echo, however.
There we go. Stephanie, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
Big echo. Max, go on. Max, go.
Now we should be coming through the speakers.
Okay, A, B, C, D. Oh, wow, that's bad. Why are we doing that? Okay, hold on. Okay. Check. Wow. Okay. Check. A, B, C, D, D, D. Oh boy. Check. Are we better now?
Yes, that is better.
Melissa?
I suppose so. I guess it takes.
Are you hearing us okay?
I can hear you. It's Stephanie.
No echo?
No echo.
Perfect. Check. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing things. Okay. Okay.
Hi, David.
Oh, David's there.
Hey there. How you guys doing?
I thought he was gonna be here.
Apologies. Yeah, I had a late meeting, so I just held fast.
Can you hear us?
Hear it?
David, I just had a Zoom Rotary meeting with Watsonville Rotary. Holy Toledo, you should hear the fines that they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went over here, turned the gain down. Then once I did that, the echo stopped.
Oh,
I think the gain was just too high over
okay. I don't.
there. Which is, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, technical terms. Okay, and then is there any guest speakers? We don't need this, do we?
There aren't any members of the public here at the moment, but the meeting is open to the public.
Okay, so I'll just leave the one mic on.
Okay.
Okay. And chip, chip, chip. Chip. Hear me?
We can hear you. It doesn't sound like it's coming from that mic though.
Okay.
Three's on.
Chip, chip.
Okay, so we need one more member.
So has it been decided? Are we heading back to the grotto starting May 1?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Which I think, I hope that we could, David, I hope we can still Zoom for, some members who obviously can't,
Yeah.
well, stop being included because I'll still be down here in Aptos. But, I think that there are a lot of members who are just really anxious to get back and meet. I mean, our Zoom meetings are fine. It's just that they just don't, we need that eye to eye and that, tap on the shoulder. Hey, you were here, you were there. And anyway, the camaraderie.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's we're down to the brave dozen or so. That
for sure. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, someone come in, we can have them speak through different mics.
Check, check. I think it's working now.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I hope it's not for not in as much as it's just you and I. And Melissa. That's it. Oh,
you and I can just have a meeting. We'll
there you go.
talk about life.
Right?
There we go.
Susan.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You rock, Thomas.
Unmute, I got it, I'm going, hang on.
So
Start video,
that camera to you,
that's it,
right?
there I am. Okay,
And they don't need to see me.
They don't need you.
okay.
I just text Joyce, see what her status is.
Okay.
And then Chelsea, not a no-show. So we're
Chelsea
expecting?
is no longer with the chamber.
I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't, in as much as we have an emergency chamber board meeting tonight, I think Denise, I doubt Denise is going to be at this meeting as a representative of the chamber.
Okay. Sounds good.
Can you guys see Melissa or no?
We cannot.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, now you can see her?
Now we can.
Can you zoom in really close? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know what, you know what camera this is. It's the TV camera, so that's about as good as it's gonna get. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, good to go.
Okay, I'm gonna hit live, okay?
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, folks. I guess barring a signal of some sort, I'll call this meeting to order. The Clearlake Marketing Committee meeting. Let me pull up the agenda here. Forgive me, I had it open. And now I can't track it down, so I'm going to open it up again. Okay, so roll call. City Clerk, do you want to call roll call?
Member Bloomquist,
Here.
Member Conley,
Here,
Chair Claffey.
Here.
And there, the representative from the Clear Lake Chamber of Commerce and Councilmember Overton are absent.
correct.
Thank you. All right, let's open up public comment during this marketing committee meeting. Public comment will be accepted via email and Zoom. If you'd like a comment remotely, please raise your hand. City Clerk, is there any public comment?
Mr. Chair, I did not receive any emailed comments, and there are no attendees via Zoom.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, let's hop into agenda item number 1, and that is city light pole banners. And I have something I wanted to present a bit. If Ms. Swanson, if I could share my screen, that would be great. Excellent.
I'm having technical difficulties.
What type of technical difficulty, Susan? How can we help?
The connection seems to be unstable and I can bear, you kind of go in and out, but let's just proceed and then
Susan, if you can hear us, you kind of dropped off. If you could stop sharing your video, maybe that will help.
Do what?
Stop sharing your video,
Just
maybe
go
that
ahead.
will help.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes that saps some bandwidth.
Cool. Yeah, that works. Okay, go ahead. That actually did a lot.
All right. So as you've seen, the Lower Lake committee to support the seniors that are graduating have their banners all along Lakeshore Drive and all around this part of the lake. Supervisor Sabatier and I were discussing late last year and early this year the potential for leveraging their equipment to have this be a year-long beautification project for the city. And we had talked about this in marketing committees in the past. I know Patrick, when he was involved with the chamber, he had taken some steps to do this. This is also a high intent item from a recommendation from Downtown Strategies, as they listed these banners as something in conjunction with a lot of different wayfaring signage that would be a benefit to the downtown area. In this case, because we have the equipment, we have a potential partnership in the Lower Lake folks that they want to see this happen as well, and they're open to supporting us. I wanted really get this marketing committee together and talk about the steps that we can take to make this be a sustainable project for our city over the next couple of years. So to kick that off, so I put some thoughts together, and Supervisor Sabatier and I had discussed this a bit, as I said, and basically what I would love to do with this is if our goal is to create a self-sufficient program that will beautify our downtown corridor, what are the different phases that we can do to make this work? I went through and I mapped.
I'm listening.
I went through and I mapped all the different light pole locations along Lakeshore Drive here. Right now we have 34 of the PG&E black ornate light posts, all of which should, and I haven't scouted this yet, have the banner equipment on it, thanks to the senior banners. So the thought was, if we structure a program that is quarterly, we develop seasonal banners supported by 4 separate sponsors, and also in conjunction with some of the nonprofits here in town. We could do a phase 1 approach where we do, I would hope, at least up to Redbud Park here, potentially extending all the way up to Old Highway 53. Really just depends on the funding and how we would put this together. So to kind of level set, if we look at the banners as they are now, here is an example of one of the senior ones. We have the inside, I call that side A. That is the banner side that faces the road. And then there's side B, which is the banner side that faces outside of the road. So these light poles are on either side of the road. Side A is always going to be the inside pole. So the thought was that on the inside, we focus on seasonal banners that are branding the city, that are creating a vibe, that are drawing attention to whatever we're hoping to draw attention to, whether that be, a seasonal banner such as a summer banner or holiday banner, or eventually get to the point where we're doing event banners. That would be more of a phase 3 thing, but that is where we want to get to, where we have a marketing channel for different events and activities and experiences we want to have in the city. On the B side, the hope is to do 2 things. One, feature our nonprofit organizations that are doing a lot of great work in the city. Ideally, we would have at least 1 to 3 banners from the Chamber, Rotary, CC4C. We can go through the nonprofit organizations that I think would be great to highlight here. But then we'll also feature sponsors on this side. And that is what will make it self-sufficient. If we can identify several sponsors to take quarterly spots, that will then fund the beautification efforts on the A side. Any questions yet?
David, what is the cost for quarterly sponsorship?
So that's something that we have to discuss. So if we're looking at the A side and we say, all right, there are 34 different banner locations. Essentially, we're looking at about $75 per banner. So that is about $2,555 for A side coverage, and that's minus labor or volunteers or whatever. That's just the cost of the banners themselves. So if we're saying, all right, we're going to have 5 B side banners per sponsor, and we're able to do about 4 sponsors in a given quarter. I think at cost, that should be, and this is without their cost for their banners, that should be about $637 per quarter to have a side coverage per 4 sponsors. Now, the other piece of this is I want to partner with either the chamber or Rotary to handle the financial piece of this. And I want this to be sort of a fundraiser for them in a sense. Once this program gets up and going, I want it to maintain itself. I don't want this to be a thing where we're asking for a lot of favors and then eventually we burn out. So I think the pricing can be variable. I've looked at a couple of other cities, Sausalito, for example, they do theirs for 154 each. So, that's basically a 50% margin for an advertiser. If the banner costs $75, it's a 50% margin for the city or the organization. So that's all fairly flexible. I think the question is, who do we want to partner with on the financial side to make this an organization, a program for one of the organizations in our city, and then how do we take them? How do we build the infrastructure to go through the different phases of the project?
Well, David, I would certainly like to say that financially, I think I have no idea about Lions or Kiwanis or any other group like that, but I think that Rotary certainly could handle the funding. I mean, just knowing what I know, and I mean, I was instrumental in getting them to pay for a good portion of the seniors' banners because these poor kids were not going to be see much of anything for their senior year. So anyway, that being said, I think I think Rotary would be a good place to start, and especially since we were not able to do our big fundraiser this year, I think that that would be a good lead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree. I think there's an advantage to going with Rotary, and then also, if the chamber are available, an advantage with going with them as well. But you're right. I think from a stability standpoint, which is what we're looking for, we want that an organization that can create a repeatable process here. So I've kind of built out the different phases. If we were to say, all right, here, to make this sustainable, here are the 3 phases that we have to go through. So phase 1, a quarterly seasonal banner supported by 4 sponsors plus nonprofit awareness. Now, right now, we're only going to be doing 3 seasons. We have July through September, October through December, and January through March. April through June is going to be reserved for the senior banners, right? So we would only have to identify 4 to 6 sponsors for those 3 seasons. Phase 2, expand to the full quarter. If for some reason we only are able to secure, 2 sponsors and we are only going to do half the span starting from Austin Park to as far as we can go, eventually want to get to the point where we have a sustainable program that can expand to the full quarter. And then I'd like to get to the point where we can introduce timely event promotion, right? So if we take those summer banners like I showed you, and we have the Soapbox Derby coming up or a big fishing tournament coming up, the organization can then leverage that space, that channel to the event coordinator and generate some more eyeballs, publicity for that organization. So that would be phase 2, and that requires some muscle memory, the ability to execute. And then phase 3, we get into, all right, well, how do we start automating this workflow? How do we start taking it from spreadsheets to making it seamless, have things scheduled, vendor management, design, artwork going to the printer, all incredibly smoothly. But that's also when we review pricing, we expand our seasonal banners, and then if we look back at the downtown strategies book, the report, do we start implementing branding guidelines at this point? I think that would be a good window to do it. So that's the three-phased approach that I would like to present to either Rotary or the Chamber to say this is our vision for this. We think it'd be a big benefit to the community, but also to your organization.
I have a comment.
Yeah, please.
Oh, hey,
Um,
Bruno.
hey, how's it going?
Good.
I am happy to see this. I think that there are potentially some gaps for the longevity of the program, and that is eventually we need to be able to pay for Public Works to put these up. We can't continuously expect that volunteers are going to put them up. And I think that eventually, if there's enough changing going on, whether it's quarterly or monthly, that Public Works will not want to have that taken away from them without some sort of compensation for the time being spent for that. And so I think that needs to be added to the banners. And I'm guessing if you just do like a half hour per poll, that would be probably about $15 to $20 added on. So it's not a huge amount. And of course, the city would know what that overall amount is, but it would add to it. I would suggest that Rotary is the most financially stable to be able to help and support that. However, it's going to take some time if we ask Rotary to take this on. And so I would still like to offer to start us off with the first $3,000 so we could just get the banners. And then on the B sides, Rotary can work on those parts and then eventually they can match. That way we have at least something to show off the seasons, whatever holiday might be, things like that. And just quickly get the funding there so that we can just get started and at least we have that foundation.
I like that, Bruno. I think
Yep.
that's great. Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, absolutely, Susan.
Could we add like, so in order to make so you're going to have banners that are from Rotary, from events, all these things that people want information for, but perhaps we could have a standard set of banners that show off our biodiversity again, like our good birds and our good fish and our good plants, certain things that are here that are not anywhere else. And just to sort of give Clearlake that look of, okay, here we're now looking to the future and our future looks like we're a biodiverse place and a place that cares about our natural resources. And that would align with, the state's big movement now. And you can get money from the state, the programs these people are putting in place now. And, banners aren't very big expense, and they just would give they just be the extra ones that went into the spots that, because it's Safeway's great and all that, but it's kind of cool to see, what do we have here? What is their pride? Give us a little Clearlake pride,
Well, there's two ways to approach that. And you see on my list here, I have our Evergreen, our nonprofit ones. So I was going to ask Rotary Lions Club, and we can discuss this list. So if there is an organization that does support biodiversity and they want to be in this rotation, absolutely, let's get it there. The other piece is the quarterly seasonal themes. I think there is an opportunity to insert there when we get to phase 2, phase 3, when we have a little bit more rotation. But yeah, I think the design of the A-side banners that could eventually factor into, especially if we're focusing on it, when we're able to take our seasons and start splitting them up. There's a lot more opportunity for variety.
Correct. Good.
And I agree about implementing it within the seasons. For instance, spring, we should definitely be showing off like redbud trees, which are definitely in a regional area, things like that. And so I think that with the migration of birds, we can show what birds are there by implementing that in the picture, but it would require to make sure that we have a large banner. I know that we did get banners for the park at one time, and we were proud of that. We had banners in the park, but when you really look at it, they're tiny. They're absolutely tiny. And
Yep.
so we need to make sure that we get the right size so when it's up on the pole, it functions properly. I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Actually, it's going to be a question for Melissa. If you can get this information for us, I'm sure that either Public Works has that information or somebody has that information. But I'd like to know where our water pipes are to see if we can implement some sort of water drip system that goes up the pole so we can eventually connect some flower pots to those poles as well as the banners, because that adds quite a lot. And I am willing to bet there is a water pipe right below in that general vicinity. And it would be an easy, well, maybe not easy, but it'd be much more simple than if there was no water pipe at all underneath there. So I think that would be an interesting concept to do, just because the flowers really add a lot. And we know that we can put some beautiful stuff in there.
And I think we talked about that several meetings ago, that very thing, Bruno. I think it's a great idea. David, is it possible that we have more than one sponsor? In other words, since there's so many light posts, we could technically have more than one. So in other words, it would be Safeway maybe on one and Foods on another. And
Yep. So my ideal state is to have 4 sponsors. So here's a sample rotation, and this is going to change because as I was scouting it out, really site 1 and site 2 would be our ideal sponsor spots because they're right at Austin Park. But assume that it's a rotation similar to this. So in July, if you're going down the road, on the B side, you see a Rotary banner. You see sponsor 1, sponsor 2, Lions, sponsor 3, sponsor 4, Highland Senior Center, then back to sponsor 1, sponsor 2. So ideally, I'm thinking 5 banners per sponsor as a package, right? Like that's our base package. And if one sponsor wants to buy out the whole street, they're more than welcome to. But I think if we price it for 5 banners, we expect 4 sponsors, that should be kind of in our target price range as a base package. And if we need to up that to 6, if we keep our 5 banner minimum and we say, all right, we can do up to 6 sponsors, maybe that season we phase out the nonprofits because we're getting that extra sponsor interest during the summer, for example, right? And then the nonprofits come back on the B side in the winter. So there's different ways that we can attack it. But I'm expecting between 4 and 6 sponsors per quarter.
Yeah, good.
All right. So next steps. Let me share.
Last thing.
Go ahead.
Because it's not a large number, I think we just go all the way to Old Highway 53.
Okay.
I understand that it adds more, but it's not that much more. At $75 a piece, $100 a piece, whatever it might be when in the long run, it's only adding another 500 or so, I believe. It's not adding, it's not doubling the amount or anything like that. And I'd say let's go big and see what we get. Well, let's go big. Let's try to do them all and see what we get.
So Bruno, you're saying, so go all the way up past Foods to 53?
No, Old Highway 53, because the ornate lights that David was talking about stop
right. Okay,
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was actually surprised at that too. I thought they had gone all the way up to the highway, but I guess not.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about next steps then. So Stephanie, I'd love for you to lead the conversation with Rotary to get them involved. I'll obviously, I can give a similar presentation, but I'd love for you to spearhead that and see if they want to partner with us on this.
Okay, David, would you mind emailing me some of your notes so that I have?
I'll send it all to you, and
Perfect.
I'll be on the call as well if you need me there. All right, so hopefully by next Tuesday you can have that conversation. I'm going to have another conversation with Mrs. Cepeda about the equipment, and I'll have that by next Tuesday. But when I talked to her last, she seemed 100% on board. We just haven't refreshed the conversation since the spring. So determine the design for Q3 and Q4. Bruno, it sounds like since you want to really jumpstart this, this would be so. Is this something that you'd want to lead?
I could. I know that I've tried and attempted to do some designs before in the past. They came out they weren't as good as I wanted it to be. And so we got some good template designs that were made out there, but I know that we want something more unique to Clearlake. So let me see what I can work on and send it back and forth with you so that we can bring something of quality back to the next meeting. But I know that I'm not the greatest graphic designer. I can
I
put
am.
some stuff.
That's one of my skills.
Okay.
Okay. So Susan and Bruno, do you guys
Work
want to?
with me, yeah. Call
if you-
me or text me and we'll work together. I
If
have
you-
some computers that can get some really nice stuff.
If you could reach out to Bruno and just
I
Yeah.
don't have his email or anything. If you
okay,
could
I'll send
okay.
that to you if you want to help coordinate that and lead the charge.
Design. I'm good at design.
Beautiful.
Okay. I do have to leave though right now. There's something my daughter's here and I got to run her somewhere. So I'm definitely, would that be all right? Or is that,
Yeah.
We would have to end the meeting at this point, unfortunately.
well, just keep going then.
Actually,
Go ahead, Melissa.
Joyce walked in. So.
Oh,
we
beautiful.
have-
Okay,
let me-
so Susan, I'm gonna send you Bruno's contact information. I'm gonna put this as the project leader on this. So if you could coordinate with him and make sure that we get something good out of this, that would be ideal.
That would be perfectly fine. Thank you. I'd
all
love
right.
to do that. All right.
Thank you, Susan. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Do you have the sizes?
I will get you the sizes. We do have them.
Okay.
Joyce, are you there?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
all right. I see you now. Excellent. All right.
Sorry.
So then secure funding and identify sponsor. If this is going to be, Bruno, when you said, let's just take $3,000 and throw it in, do you have potential sponsors in mind? Is that coming from the city? What do you have in mind?
No, I was just going to ask for donations. I have some people in the back pocket that are waiting for me to ask. And I think it's just gives you time, Rotary time to organize all of the sponsors and get all their stuff printed out. Because if we wait for sponsors in order to pay for the actual banners themselves and for them to organize all their graphic design and everything, it's going to take a little while to organize all that. And so I'll just make some phone calls. I'll grab about $3,000, have them donated directly to the city. That way the city can put it into a special account for us for banners. And then at that point, we're good.
Wonderful. So you'll focus on Q3 banner design and printing, and we'll say and for Q4 as well, but definitely from design to printing, that's on you on the A side. I will work in talking with Rotary, the Lions Club, all these other organizations to get the B side banners done. And then we can. I'm going to ask them to provide banners at cost, right? So if it's $75 to print, I'm going to say, all right, Lions Club, we want to feature you. Would love to have you, but we need you to supply the banners, and then we'll put them up. Excellent. So I think that's it.
Real quick, quarter 3 and quarter 4, are you good if I go with a summer theme and a fall theme, since the majority of those quarters are those seasons?
I'm good with that. I'm completely open to the design.
Okay.
Melissa, sorry, Stephanie, I don't know if you have an opinion, or Joyce.
Oh,
I moved it.
okay.
You can move it back.
I will.
Okay, we're gonna change the positions here so that they can record it. So hang on a
Okay.
second.
Thomas isn't part of this committee.
It should be.
I'm everywhere, Bruno.
Don't worry,
I don't like-
neither am I.
Kind of like you, everywhere, right? All right. Can you see the ladies okay?
Yes, we can.
We can.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Thank you. All right. So Stephanie, any issues with Supervisor Sabati's design ideas?
No, I think that's great.
Excellent.
They will be the best.
Of course they will.
Excellent. So I think that's it for now. I think these are our top 5 action items before next meeting. So Stephanie, let's get confirmation from Rotary that they want to be involved. I will talk with Ms. Cepeda to make sure that the equipment is secure year round. Susan and Bruno are going to focus on design and printing for Q3. And then I will work with all the different nonprofit organizations to get them represented on the B side. That work for everyone?
Mhm.
And excellent. All right. Thank you all.
Do you mind if I ask something else? And,
Yeah,
and
of course.
maybe I'm being picky. I don't know why, but I think that you can be successful, at least to get started, by looking at service groups, nonprofits, and how do we make it more of the local shop versus Walmart or Safeway, or it feels more special when it's something unique rather than something that you can find anywhere else that's being advertised. And I know that it would be easier if it was done through, even though Safeway is a difficult one to get any money out of, but it's easier typically out of a corporation in order to get that level of funding. But in my opinion, I would much rather see a sign that advertises a very local owned shop than a shop that is owned by someone on the outside, especially something corporate.
I agree with you. To be fair, that was just, I know Safeway has a logo and I was I was trying to illustrate the point, but I think I'm on the same page. Councilmember Overton?
Yeah, I was just thinking that I think we should definitely, I agree. I think we should start with our local civic clubs that are right here and our local businesses that are right here, the small ones. I mean, if it's only going to be $100, no offense, but even as a nonprofit, I would pitch up $100. I mean, that's nothing if we could get them for like that. And I think you'd probably find that pretty much even the small businesses would do that. I say it would be nice to focus, the big businesses, they're here. No, everybody's going to shop at them and everything. Everybody knows they're here. But some of these small little businesses, that some of them are off the side of the road or something like that, back on the back streets, basically. Or people just don't recognize them, that maybe it'd be nice if they actually could purchase a banner and have it someplace by their business.
So just to be clear, the banners for the nonprofits, we're going to be doing it at cost. For sponsors and small businesses, that's going to be inflated a bit more. Just so you know. So they're going to be we're going to create a 5 banner package for them. I don't know how much you caught earlier.
Yeah, I did. So I was in the car, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So well, even, I don't know, what are you thinking, $500? What was your guys' cost? What was you thinking? Just update me.
So I would say anywhere from 1,000 to 600 for a 5 banner package. And that's something that we can discuss with Rotary once we have them on board. But that was probably the ballpark to cover the cost for the A-side banners.
Still not that much. I mean, even as a small business person, I would still go for that. I mean, I think that's I think you just have to, have a package together to present to them. I think most businesses will go for that. But I think it's a great idea to focus more on the definitely local and not necessarily Walmart, Safeways, the little IGA that everybody already knows. So, so I think that's a great idea.
Well, I think for us, we have to discuss how we're going to market it once we have it up and going, right? That's right in our wheelhouse. If we want to target those smaller businesses, then we just have to figure out how to talk to them and how to build packages that appeal to them. I'm all for that.
And,
all right.
And again, David, you will send me basically the information that I need to present to. Okay, concise. Yep. Great.
Well, concisely, that's a stretch, but I will send you.
Well, no.
All right, so let's move on to item number 2, unless there's any other questions. All right, item number 2, discussion of beautification projects. So top of my list are the fish statues. Bruno, can you give us a quick update on the great work you're doing there?
So right now, I know that Alan is working with, I'm guessing, Public Works or Parks to prep the platforms that they're going to be standing on and bolted to. Within the next week or so, we should start seeing some of those platforms being put out. There's going to be one in the middle of Austin Park. There's going to be one in Red Bud. And then I don't know if they're waiting. I believe they're waiting for both Highlands Park and the beach area because, as you know, you all just approved the boardwalk or whatever it's called, the walking area on the beach. I don't know what you guys called it. I forget. But what was that?
Promenade.
The promenade. And so I think that it just needs to be implemented correctly in that design. And right now, I don't think they're 100% sure exactly where it's going to go. We are still waiting on 2 fish to be shown to us. I need to contact Violet. I haven't seen hers. I'm guessing she's probably accomplished that or at least gotten some good progress done. I don't see her not getting it done. And the 4th one, I just have not seen it all. So right now we have the metal fish from Diego Harris, and we have another one that fish scales were made out of metal and added on. And I think I showed you guys the pictures last time that we were here. And so all of that is advancing. Not all of them will be put up at once, but definitely at least 2 of them will pop up. And one of them will either sit in City Hall until there's a place to put it. And so we just need to figure out where the other 2 fish are.
Love it.
Bruno, can I ask you a question? You and I were supposed to meet where the picture frame was going to be. Have we, I mean, I think we kind of decided that, but is that going to be a project that happens this summer?
So that's also part of the promenade where Alan told me, please wait. Let's figure out, because we want to know, we want to get an idea of what's going to be the best way, with the best use of the promenade.
Okay.
Are people going to want to stand and take a picture? And so that's going to tell us the height of the picture frame. Or are they going to sit on the edge and take a picture? And then we'll know where the picture frame needs to be. So we need to kind of figure out what height the picture frame will have and also the exact location as well so that it has best use.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that update. The other item I had on beautification was the storefront project that Chelsea was working on. Stephanie, do you have any insight on where that stands or stood?
Unfortunately, I don't. I don't have any idea. There were so many issues going on with the chamber that I don't know where that ended up, sadly.
Melissa, do you know, did you guys ever pull a list for available storefront contact information?
Not to my knowledge, I don't believe.
Okay.
And she certainly would have had to have had that to have been able to have contacted,
Yep.
those owners and said, we would like to do, there's a group that would like to make your storefront look attractive.
Yep. So Christina Nelson expressed interest in doing this. I see that she's not on the call today, but I will reach out to her this week and rekindle that. And I'd hate to see this project die.
Right. Right.
Because I think there's a lot of folks are interested in it in some capacity, and I just want to get the infrastructure in place so that we can move forward. So I'll reach out to Christina Nelson, and then I'll take the lead in acquiring that contact information.
Okay.
Can I add something here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this all started off with, we were gonna put some of these pictures that were sitting around here at City Hall in the windows of the empty places, which we were gonna start with Dave Hughes, and I don't know how we wanna go because he's given us permission to do that next door. So how do we wanna proceed with that?
Well, if we have permission and you have art available, I would say move forward with that singular project. the idea was to have a theme all along Lakeshore Drive, essentially. So acquire the contact information for all the vacant properties. And Chelsea was going to lead the charge in that, and then have conversations so that we could do a thematic thing all the way down Lakeshore Drive. For Dave Hughes, if you have the connection there and the approval, I don't see why we can't at least put something up in the interim. But the larger project, I think, is just on hold right now.
Good idea for next door to City Hall, though. I like that.
So I'll put.
That was the project originally, was that we were gonna put these in the vacant windows so that when we have the pictures, they're already there, it advertises our artwork. And you know, it was originally, but I had the same problems of trying to get a list of the empty buildings owners.
Mhm.
And I didn't ask Melissa because she was always so busy. So maybe that was my mistake, but you know, at the time, I thought that
I
we
think
could
if we
get
get addresses, we
Yeah.
could certainly help. I
So,
think
yeah,
that's the
that
first
would
step,
be,
is get the addresses.
and then we can research it. But yeah, originally it was we were gonna just go through all the empty windows because they were empty and stuff, and we were gonna put the art pictures in. You know, spruce them up, make them look better, clean the windows, stuff like that. But then, you know, and then it's also who's going to do the work. So is it gonna be us? Is it gonna be Public Works? Is it gonna be volunteers? You know, stuff like that. So it just never kind of went anywhere.
Well, I think it has never gone anywhere because we haven't taken or no one's gotten the list, right? I think that's the first step in all of this. So let me take the lead in doing that. If you guys want to think through if we have some easy wins, like taking the pictures and putting them into Windows, let's start putting those ideas on paper. In the meantime, let's get the contact information. Let's get the permission. I'll take the lead in that, and then we can talk about the bigger concept at a future meeting. But we need the contact and we need the permission before we can do anything.
Mhm. Exactly.
All right, I'm just writing a note for myself to do that.
Doesn't the city already have a vacant business ordinance? Don't they have a list?
Well, they would know yes, all the business owners in those empty storefronts.
But I thought there was I don't know exactly the ordinance to a T, but I know that if you have a vacant building, you must be proactive in trying to lease it, or proactive in trying to sell it, or maintain it to a certain level, or whatever it is. And so wouldn't the city have a list of what those vacant buildings are in order to keep an eye on it? I just thought for some reason that would be where the list comes from.
So that information is maintained within code enforcement. I can contact, see what we can find out. I don't know how that information is stored or distributed.
Okay.
I'm not.
It might help us to just do it on our own. That way we have the details of exactly what we need. Yeah.
So my next steps is I'm going to gather all the addresses just manually. I'm going to go around, grab all the addresses. Melissa, I'll come to either you or Tina. You can point me to whoever I should talk to. And I'll gather the contact information and start making some phone calls. I think that's a good first step. Beautiful. Any other beautification items? I think the light pole project is in here. You know, if we can combine over the next few weeks to get this done this month, or at least lay the foundation, I think we'll be in a really good position. It'll be a nice big step forward. All right, moving on to.
I want to. So the Rural Arts Initiative came through this committee to do a grant for $100,000 and matching funds from the city of Clearlake. Unfortunately, that grant was not awarded to the Rural Arts Initiative here in Lake County. However, in the conversations and the emails that I received, the city did put aside $100,000 for beautification. And so I'm going to be working, I help the Lake County Cannabis Association, LCCA, to basically steal the Wine Association grant program and rework it and word it into their program. It's basically just came into existence last week. And so I'm going to work with the Rural Arts Initiative to try to get $100,000 from LCCA so that we can go ahead and match those funds that the city put to the side. And then we have $200,000 to have a lot of fun and create some cool stuff.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm. Awesome.
All right. Keep us posted if you need any help on that. Let me know. Let us know.
Will do.
Okay. Next agenda item, number 4, I believe. Number three. Sorry, jumped ahead. Update and discussion on events in the city. So we don't have Tina with us. Melissa, is Soapbox Derby still on track for Labor Day weekend?
So I emailed everyone just a little bit ago the updated calendar because I thought people would be here in person. I've got paper copies. So
Sorry.
don't worry. If you take a look at your email, it should be there, and it's updated effective today. And let me take a look here really quick.
No, they're, I think with the Mayo dates.
So the soapbox derby is scheduled for the 25th of September, I'm seeing.
Okay.
And I don't, what did you say was missing?
The Cinco de Mayo day on the 7th, May 7th, is not on here.
Okay.
Right.
Joyce, what event's happening on Cinco de Mayo?
So there's a Cinco de Mayo at the community center that we're putting on for to help sponsor the activities such as Zumba, exercise classes and stuff like that. So
Wonderful. And you said that's May 7th?
yeah.
Okay. 4th of July, that's a big event coming up. Has anyone had conversations with the Lions Club yet on where things stand with that?
I was just speaking with Alan Flora today and everything's on.
Wonderful. I still want to support them in creating a digital footprint. They really don't publicize all the different events and activities on any digital platforms. So I'm gonna, when I talk to them about the banners, I'm gonna talk with them about 4th of July as well. But great to hear that everything is still on. Also coming up, we don't have, as far as I know, we don't have any events planned for Memorial Day weekend. I know Lower Lake is doing Lower Lake Days, but I don't think that's anything that we have to support. We just have to help them build some awareness. And then raising the flag. So that's scheduled for May 19th. Melissa, any updates on that?
It's happening on May 19th at 10 a.m.
Sponsored by
I'm
Park
not
Study Club.
100% sure who's going to be attending and what the agenda is. I can get with Tina, but I'm certain that at least obviously the Park Study Club and the council and various people with social distancing will be invited.
One of
Excellent.
the Park Study Club members is working with Tina, is what we were told at our meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think they're still working on getting everybody there, but they are working on it.
Sounds good. And then Power to the Youth. I had that from our meeting last week. Bruno, any update there? Anything you need from us?
Not yet. Definitely thinking September.
Okay, I had late August on here. I'll switch that to September. All right.
I would say the 11th or the 18th. Since there's the Soapbox Derby already.
And the soapbox derby was, again, what date?
September 4th.
We had a couple of dates that we were talking about. I think that we're settling on Labor Day weekend. So that's the first weekend of September.
Mhm.
Excellent. Any other pressing events? I know we have like trunk or treat and a few other things that are further down the road, but anything pressing
No,
that we should talk about here?
What's the New Year's fireworks?
The New Year's fireworks?
What was that? You know, Santa Bruno was putting together?
Yeah, that's something that I'm working on. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get that money out of the county.
That would be nice.
And
Yay.
so right now, I have the potential of having about $200,000 to spend by myself for District 2. And so I would take approximately $35,000, $40,000 out, and that would give us a fireworks display for New Year's.
Awesome.
Wonderful. All right, let's move on to agenda item 4, which is content. So last meeting, we talked about the augmented reality project at Anderson Marsh. Any update there, Bruno?
I just need to go out and take some pictures and send it to 3 companies that I'm currently in discussions with.
Okay. I also have on my list here One Team, One Dream. So Stephanie, I imagine you're familiar with this group. Bruno and Joyce, are you familiar with them as well?
Yeah.
And one of our local businesses won.
Yep.
Yep.
So it looks like they are seeking applications again with a deadline of June 30th. So let's really promote this. I love that one of our businesses won. Let's get more involved. And that's all I have for content. The downtown Clearlake refresh is on my agenda as well. That is, we got some great feedback last week, so I just actually have to get it done.
Do you think there's any way that we could, in as much as the chamber is in flux right now, do you think there's any way that the city could put One Team, One Dream, just a little story, if nothing more, and who to contact, on their website, so that our businesses in Clear Lake know that it's happening? I mean, maybe people do know, but I mean, the very fact that Lamb, was a major recipient last year. I mean, and just a delightful couple they are. So,
Stephanie,
Just a
if you
thought.
write it up and if you could get that to me, I can put something together.
okay, so, all right.
And what I would like to offer, I haven't seen us do this in a while. What do you guys think about doing another photo contest? I think that it would be nice to refresh and get some new pictures. I get it that, you get a new picture of Canocti, it's still Canocti, but some people turned in some great pictures of activities with people in it. And things like that. And now we have some new murals as well. I don't know. I just think it's been a while, and I know that I enjoyed it when we've done it. And look at behind Joyce. That's one of the pictures that came from that photo contest. And so just wondering if that's something that the city would be interested in doing.
You know what I'd like to see, instead of just, I'd like to see us like get some criteria down. Like, it'd be nice if we had more pictures of the activities that are being done. People out on the boats, fishing, playing in the playground, something like that, instead of just mainly people going out and taking pictures of the scenery. If we could use the activity things, because that can be in our marketing packets, showing all the different things that people can do here. So, it would be nice if maybe we just focused on doing something like that instead of just all photos. Maybe we could focus down and have a contest on per se, activity type of pictures.
I really like that idea, and it seems to fit well with what the TID is doing, where it's kind of like come to Lake County for an adventure. Well, what is our adventure? What are we doing to make it an adventure? Let's take a picture to show off what we do to make living here in Lake County or visiting Lake County and Adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we marketed it right, that would be, we could probably get people up in the mountains hiking, say, instead of a picture of Canocti, maybe we get somebody hiking up on Canocti, fishing in the lake, boating out on the lake, great to advertise the bass tournament stuff, maybe we can get, other different types of pictures. I like to see some activities that we can use to market and show the people what we're sitting here saying. We have no visual to tell them this is it. So
I agree.
So I wasn't involved in the last photo contest. How was it administered?
Take a
Okay,
picture,
so
send it to us.
we
oh, that was
did,
the criteria.
we did have 6 different categories where people could submit photos, and they had to be obviously a specific, they had to have enough pixels. And so then we had historical photos submissions, like you said, activities around the lake submissions, landscaping submission, buildings, things like that, pictures of what's around the town. And all of the photos had to specifically be taken within the city of Clear Lake and be recognizably taken within the city of Clear Lake. Like, you couldn't just submit a photo of a bird on the ground. Because it's not recognizably Clear Lake. I mean, you could take a picture of a bird on the ground anywhere, but it specifically had to, you could tell that it was in Clear Lake. So, we didn't get a lot of submissions, as you can imagine, of activities within the city. It's most of the submissions we got were obviously landscape, which, they're great. It's beautiful. But I think, like you were saying, if we do a marketing blast on show us what you're doing in Clear Lake, or, like you said, activities within Clear Lake, maybe we just have a specific contest that, is not landscape, it's not historical, it's specific. Show us what you're doing in Clear Lake. Maybe we'll get, some submissions that way.
Whether it's sitting on your porch having a glass of wine, or playing activities with kids down here at the park, playing, kickball or tennis, or even Little League, I mean, I think we could get a lot. If you're hiking, we need to maybe just put out there what type of activities would be good to have pictures of. If you're hiking up on, Canocti, we'd love to have you submit a picture, and really market it to be the activities, because I really didn't see activities much, and I think that's what we need. I think we need that for all our marketing materials, chamber, city, all of it. So I'd love to just do one that just focuses on that kind of stuff.
One caveat, I'm sorry, Bruno. One caveat is that if we have people within the photo, we have to have signed waivers by those people.
Especially if they're kids.
Yes, well, anyone, but if they're children, we have to have their parents.
Maybe we use our city motto. Show us what living the lake life is.
I like that.
I like that. And then are we thinking about having it be a contest where there's actually prizes for the people who submit, or?
Yeah, I think last time I did the $200.
Yeah.
Last time I donated the $200 for the grand prize. So, and I'm willing to do that again. $200 may not seem much to some people nowadays, but that's about all I can afford. So.
Could we wrap it up in like a gallery event at the end?
That's what we did our first year. It was our state of the city. There's a whole room with beautifully printed pictures.
So I was talking recently with Alan, asking him if perhaps State of the City is something he'll consider doing again in October this year. But I would recommend that we do that again if we're going to ask the city. Definitely have to pick.
100%.
Yeah, but I think that it went over really well. I think a lot of people see the pictures, so especially the ones that took them.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted to come and see what they were, so it also brought in more people. And it wasn't just the state of the city. There was, you know, something else for them to do. So, and the senior center, the Chatterbox catered that for free. So that was our donation to the community for, I say supporting us, but kind of. So, you know, so that would be something that we probably would consider doing again, and doing the appetizers and stuff if they decided to do that. But either way, we should have a showing, whether it's the state of the city or not. We should definitely have a gallery show and just present it out. So.
And
Joyce-
then you
go
just
ahead.
created some pictures to put in those vacant storefronts. That way you make sure you have enough. You just added more.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know, some small prints to have available, like at the chamber office or at City Hall, for people to actually buy.
Oh yeah, because there's some of these, no offense, but there are some of these ones that probably if they weren't so big, I would have purchased. You know, I mean, they're looking at one right now that's beautiful that I really would put in my house. You know, there's
Gorgeous.
another one. Is a picture of one of our old board members that are the senior center that is actually of his grandkids. So it's the one that we on everything, and I actually took him a copy and said, I believe these are your grandkids. And he's like, oh my God, those are my grandchildren, you know? So it was the top, well, that one was the top winner, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the top winner. So of course he wants a picture of it now, you know, so he would purchase one. So
Yeah.
that's a great idea to have, take orders. That way you know which ones you need to print and which ones you don't. So have a sample out there of a smaller one and say, you could purchase this. You could place an order for this for however much it's going to cost, you know, 20 bucks, 25 bucks, whatever. You know, I think that's a great idea.
Or we could just have them have the file, and send the file, they sent their own pictures.
Money to keep these programs going.
And David, that also gives you content for any website that you're working on, because now it's all interrelated.
I'm 100% in. Does anyone want to take the lead in project managing this? If we're aiming for a deadline in, I guess, September, October?
I would suggest we use the what we already used in the past and just add the theme.
Right.
I can do that. Or...
We can work on it. You want to work on it together?
Sure.
So Melissa and I'll take that on.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, let's do it. I think that'd be fantastic. All right. Any other content comments? All right. Let's move to city manager member reports. Does anyone have a report?
Just to let you know, I'm stealing a page out of the city of Clearlake, and the county will be having a state of the county right around the same time as the state of the city. It will not be the same time or the same day, but we need to do something similar where we talk about what we've done and we talk about what we plan to do. I think it's a great concept, and I love what the city did, and I want to carbon copy that and make it a part of the county as well.
Very good.
You know you can't come up with your own ideas. Come on, bro.
It's government. You can plagiarize anything.
Well, obviously, we plagiarized the state. The state did it because of the government, so it all gets plagiarized. I think you're right. I think every one of us should do. We should do it. Lakeport should do it. The county should do it. I think it should be done, just not on the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sure we don't.
All right. Any other reports?
Sounds like you're shaking things up in Lakeport, mister.
We'll see if they kick me out.
No.
You're there till you want to leave. So.
All right, guys. Any future agenda items other than what we've already discussed?
I don't think we can take on anymore, do you?
No, I think we're doing good. I think this should be a good month if we can get these banners up. It's going to be a big win for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
make sure
then we'll-
you connect me with Susan just in case, but I think I have her email on this. I don't, yeah, there she is, Susan Bloomquist. So I have her email. I'll reach out to her and we'll start getting working on that.
Thank you so much, Bruno.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you for attending. I'll talk to you guys all soon. We are
All
adjourned.
right. Thanks,
Bye,
David.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.